Today we're going to be discussing an important topic. We're going to be talking about wash sales. We're going to be talking about wash sales and whether they are applicable to you and your day trading or your investing. Now, keep in mind, I am not an investment or financial advisor. I am just a day trader. So take this as not advice. There are no claims made in this video. Please refer to the disclaimer that popped up on the video right at the beginning if you have any more questions or concerns. But now let's get into it. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years. Let's get into it. So today we're going to be discussing something that came up on a comment, and it's a question that comes up from time to time. It's not a common question, but I think it's an important question because it opens up a bigger and broader picture or problem that I see with a lot of day traders out there. So one sec, I'm going to fire up these charts and we're going to rock and roll, folks. Okay, so now that we are into the charts and onto the screen, sharing my screen, let's take a look at Okie Trades' question. He comments, something I realized that I'm concerned about with only trading 1 to 2 tickers is wash sales. Do you care about them? So then I replied my reply, and I'll share that with you here in a minute, but we're going to start discussing that. So number one, when we're making decisions on what we should be doing as traders, we need to understand what these definitions mean and how they are actually applicable. So let's talk about a wash sale. So wash sales, in my opinion, I'm just going to get right to the heart of it. In my personal opinion, they are not applicable to day traders, okay? Now, as far as the tax code goes and the IRS is concerned, it is still applicable. But let me explain why it doesn't matter to us. As day traders, we are in and out of positions very quickly. And essentially what it boils down to is it's either you're a day trader or you're someone that's trying to maximize a tax return. Okay, so what a wash sale is, and I'm going to give you just like the layman's terms definition and what it is. So when you buy and hold a security, and let's say like SPY or Qs or futures or any investment product out there, any stock, it doesn't matter. Okay, any security, it doesn't matter if it's a stock, it can be options. So you buy and you hold it for an investment, okay? That's the big key thing. We need to know the difference between investing and day trading. As an investor, what a lot of investors do come before January is they will sell any security that they're holding that is underperforming, okay? Not just underperforming, but negative on the P&L. So any security that they no longer want to hold, let's say something really gaps down, it catches them off guard with really bad news or data or a research that comes out, anything that comes out that's super negative, and it washes that stock, it sells it off, and you have a loss on your books in your portfolio. You can then sell that stock or security of any kind, and then you can write that loss off, okay? So let me explain, even from a business perspective. Now, if you have multiple investments, not just securities, it can be a business of some kind. There's a lot of, businessmen and businesswomen out there that they will hold companies at a loss, okay? So they have a company that, let's say they have 5 companies, right? And 4 out of the 5 are great. They're profitable companies, but they have one that is not. It's not working at all. It's a total disaster. They will hold that for the time that they need to then sell that company. If they make a shitload of profit one year and they don't want the IRS or any tax bureau out there in the world to basically take all of their money, all of their profits, because we get taxed on our capital gains, right? So they don't want to get hit as bad. They want to keep that as much money on that year as possible. What they'll do is they will then sell that 1 out of the 5 companies that is operating at a loss, and then they will be able to write partial or fully that loss off. Okay. So do you see how that from a trading perspective comes in? So if you have, and you are managing a portfolio of any kind, okay, and most of you aren't. Most of you are just day traders trying to learn how to trade. And that's going to be our discussion towards the end of this because that's really important. Like if you're operating that portfolio and you have a few underperforming stocks that you need to dump, you want to get rid of, you can then sell those as long as it hits a cutoff date, and then you can write those losses off. Explaining it from the world of day trading now. Now, let's think about this. If I am a day trader trying to build my account and provide for my family, do I care about necessarily a tax break? Like, no, I don't care, right? If you're making money by going in and out, let's say you only trade SPY or you only trade Apple or you only trade Qs. The only way that that is applicable and that matters is if you're looking for a tax break. Now, I understand most people are always trying to get the biggest tax return they can, but there has to be some sort of like stop point where we actually apply the brakes and we need to think about what we're doing. See, I think the biggest problem here and what a lot of traders do is they focus on the wrong things. A perfect example would be like, so I'm teaching you how to cook a steak and you're worried about food spoilage. Like, just focus on what you need to be focused on. Like, I understand there's a lot of things out there that these rules and these regulations that they're important. I get it, but focus on really what you need to be focused on. And that's really where I see a lot of traders fail. They are constantly digging and looking for any excuse possible subconsciously, because that's really what's going on here, to get out of doing something the right way or like a different way. They always will put up these mental barriers. It's like fleeing a cannibal's crock pot and then worried and pissing and moaning about a scuff on your boot. Like, what are we doing here? It's like cauterizing a stab wound in a dark alley, but you're fussing about a mismatched sock. Like, what is going on? It is not applicable to day traders. It is more applicable to investors holding and operating their portfolio. That's it. That's all. Full stop. Now, some of you out there in the comment section, I'm sure are going to disagree with me, but I'll tell you what. The difference between those people that are disagreeing with me and me is that I've been doing this professionally for 11 years. I have never once even remotely thought about or considered the wash sale rule. It's not applicable to what I do. Why? The final answer is I am a day trader. I am not, on the flip side, someone that is just looking for tax breaks, because that's what it boils down to. The question is that you need to ask yourself is, are you looking for tax breaks or are you a fucking day trader? Pick one, because you can't have it both ways. And the other end of that, and I'm not saying that you can't find tax breaks out there. There's lots of tax breaks out there. You need to find a proper accountant that knows how to operate, obviously within the law. You don't want to be dealing with a shady accountant. But you need to find an account that understands these laws and rules. We'll say that for every rule that is out there in the tax code, there is an opposite way around it, code in the tax, whatever, legislation. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's always a loophole. There are millions of tax loopholes, guys. For every definitive rule, there is then a loophole. You just have to have the right accountant to find these loopholes and know how to navigate that tax code. Now that that's out of the way, and I hope you guys are all following that and understanding that, this is the most important question here. And I think the broader, bigger picture of what Oki Trades is saying. When we have these thoughts and these ideas as traders, like this is where YouTube, like just YouTube and content in general, is horrible for a day trader's path at the beginning. And I know at the beginning, you all have this thirst and this quest for knowledge and information, and you want to try and do this right. But you have to realize there's so many content creators. That's why I've never done a video on the wash sale rule, because it's not applicable. It has nothing to do with what we do. And now I have to do it because it has come up from time to time. These rules and stuff, instead of, in your words, being concerned about, and now you don't want to only trade 1 or 2 stocks. Now you want to trade a bunch of random stuff instead of narrowing down your focus, which is an absolute big bad idea. You should only be trading 1 or 2 stocks. We need to focus as traders. So instead of like really understanding what these definitions, these trading definitions actually mean, you just eliminate it. And that's a problem because you're really taking opportunity away from yourself. So to kind of wrap this up and really like get down to this, like when it comes to these stock definitions that are out there, or all of these little rules, like pattern day trading rule, like people make, like there's a million videos on the pattern day, the PDT. It is not applicable if you just trade options in a cash account. Now, sure, you can trade stock in a cash account, but stocks, you need a large amount of capital. Options, you don't. There's so many ways around these things, guys. And I know you did kind of ask a question here, so don't take this personally. I'm just trying to use this as an example. Like, maybe just ask the question. Just ask someone. But the problem is you need to be very cautious and careful who you're asking advice from, because there's a lot of people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, because they'll tell you, oh yeah, the wash sale, that'll really get you. But it won't though. It only comes into play if you're trying to maximize a tax return. Like, are you a trader or are you just trying to maximize your tax returns? So I hope this video made sense. If you want to learn how to be a trader from someone that has been doing this for over a decade, come to tricktrades.com. If not, that's okay. All good. By all means, please continue with my free education on YouTube and on X, because there is literally 977 videos for you guys to learn from for free. That is all high level, professional, quality education. But you do have to like and you do have to subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one. Adios.